Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that's honestly a real game changer. A comprehensive 2026 guide on mastering Claude AI. Whether you're literally just opening Claude for the first time or you've been using it for a while, the insights we're covering today can fundamentally shift how you interact with artificial intelligence. The whole core premise here is about a vital mindset shift. We have to stop treating AI like it's some mind-reading magic box and start treating it like what it actually is, a powerful amplifier of our own intelligence. If you've ever been super frustrated by those bland, generic AI responses, well, this guide is going to show us exactly how to fix that for good. So here's our roadmap for today. We'll start by looking beyond the magic box, break down a 5-part framework for prompting, compare weak and strong prompts, unlock some really cool advanced tactics, learn how to avoid AI pitfalls, and finally talk about how to actually amplify your mind.
All right, let's jump straight into section 1, Beyond the Magic Box. This is all about truly understanding Claude. To really master Claude, the guide points out that we first have to tackle the single biggest misconception out there, expecting the AI to read our minds. The reality, Claude absolutely does not have a brain of its own. It's a large language model. All it's doing is predicting helpful responses based on a massive sea of training data and, most importantly, your specific instructions. Think of Claude as a highly capable writing and research partner who is just sitting there waiting for clear direction. If we expect it to guess what we want, we're going to be disappointed every time. But give it precise instructions, it becomes absolutely brilliant.
And this right here perfectly illustrates why we're focusing specifically on Claude for this explainer. As of 2026, Claude brings some incredibly unique strengths to the table. It's amazing at following highly nuanced instructions without drifting off topic. It also handles massive context windows of over 100,000 tokens, which basically means it can process entire books in one go. And honestly, one of its best features is that it's highly honest about its own uncertainty. That makes it way less likely to just confidently make up fake facts.
Moving right along to Section 2, the 5-part framework. This is the secret sauce for writing strong prompts.
Okay, so now that we know what Claude actually is, let's look at the absolute most important tool you have for commanding it. The crucial takeaway here boils down to a very simple equation. Output quality is directly tied to input quality. Whenever your prompt is vague, Claude is forced to make assumptions. Sure, sometimes it guesses right, but usually, it just spits out a really generic, boring overview. Giving clear, detailed direction is literally the only way to get genuinely tailored, useful results out of this thing.
And that idea builds perfectly into this fascinating 5-part prompt framework. Now, you don't always need to use all 5 every single time, but using them together works absolute wonders. First up is role. Tell Claude to act as a specific expert. Second is task. State clearly exactly what you want done. Third, context. Who are you and who is the audience? Fourth is format. Do you want a bulleted list, an email, a script? And finally, constraints. Define the limits, like specific word counts.
Let's actually see this in action in Section 3, Weak versus Strong Prompts. You're going to see a massive difference here.
Take a look at this. It is wild how much the output transforms when you use the framework. A weak beginner prompt like explain inflation is just going to give you a super dry textbook definition. But look at the strong prompt. Explain inflation to a 16-year-old in India using chai and samosa as an example. Keep it under 150 words. Boom! By simply adding context, a highly local example, and a strict length constraint, you instantly turn generic text into something totally relatable and memorable.
The guide actually heavily emphasizes that very last part, constraints. A constraint is just a boundary, like a strict word limit or telling Claude exactly what not to include. I know it sounds kind of counterintuitive, why limit the AI? But adding restrictions actually skyrockets the output quality. Think of constraints not as limits holding the AI back, but as vital guardrails that prevent Claude from just rambling on and giving you a bloated, useless answer.
Here's another awesome example from the material. If you just ask, give me business ideas, you're going to get broad, useless concepts that don't help anyone. But check out the strong version. Give 7 low-investment digital business ideas for a 20-year-old student in Tier 2 India with 10,000 rupees starting capital. Include monetization methods. Notice how applying those hyper-specific constraints, the tight budget, the exact location, the digital focus, completely filters out the noise. It forces Claude to give you highly practical, actionable advice.
All right, ready to level up? Section 4, Advanced Prompting Techniques. Let's unlock Claude's real power. Once you've got constraints down, you can start playing with some incredible advanced tactics. The first one is the step-by-step prompt, also known as chain of thought. For complex tasks, the secret is to not ask for the final answer in one single shot. Instead, command Claude to think sequentially. Ask it to analyze the risks first, then list realistic steps, then estimate the earnings, and only then give a recommendation. Forcing it to show its work step by step dramatically improves its logic and problem solving.
Next up is iterative prompting. One of the biggest rookie mistakes the guide highlights is abandoning a chat and starting totally over if the first answer isn't 100% perfect. Don't do that. Instead, treat Claude like a smart colleague sitting right next to you. Just ask it to refine the output right there in the same chat. Tell it, hey, make this 30% shorter, or reformat this exact text into a numbered list. Refining what you already have is always faster. And what if you're working on something massive like a long document or report? Asking for it all at once is a recipe for disaster. The guide highly suggests breaking it down into chunks. Step 1. Ask for a detailed outline. Step 2. You review and approve that outline. Step 3. Have Claude generate the document section by section. And Step 4. Compile the whole thing and review it. This structured generation guarantees a wildly higher level of quality.
Okay, let's slow down for a second. Section 5, Avoiding AI Pitfalls. We really need to know the limits here.
Look, as incredibly powerful as Claude is, we purposefully need to take a step back and talk about its real limitations, because honestly, this is what separates the novices from the pros. Claude has specific blind spots. Depending on its cutoff date, it might miss very recent events if it's not searching the web. It can sometimes fumble complex math. It really struggles with super niche, hyper-local information, and it loves to paraphrase rather than giving you an exact word-for-word quote. Remember, Claude is not a real-time search engine, and it's definitely not a doctor.
Because of those limitations, the guide stresses that building a personal verification habit is absolutely non-negotiable if you want to use AI responsibly. You can actually ask Claude what kind of research supports its claim, then take that info and run a search on Google Scholar or official government sites. Always track down the original report before you put your name on any fact generated by AI. And beyond just factual errors, the source material warns about the very real personal dangers of over-reliance. Think about it. If we let AI do all the heavy lifting every single day, our own analytical and creative muscles are going to suffer from skill atrophy. We might fall into the trap of uncritically accepting whatever it says. And if we use Claude to write all of our emails and documents, we risk losing our distinct human voice. AI is a tool to expand your thinking, definitely not replace it.
Which brings us to our final section, Section 6, Amplifying Your Mind, the ultimate goal.
So what's the big takeaway for adopting these tools in 2026? The foundational philosophy is that Claude can only amplify what you already understand. The people who are going to get the absolute most value out of this tech won't be the ones using it blindly for every little thing. The real power users will be the ones who build their own deep domain expertise and then thoughtfully use AI to multiply their output and structure their brilliant ideas.
I really want to leave you with this provocative final question from the material. It's something you should ask yourself after every single AI session. Did Claude help me produce something better than I could have done alone? If the answer is yes, you are doing it right. Claude is a fantastic thinking partner for sure, but human judgment remains the ultimate standard. So take these frameworks, start experimenting, and go amplify your mind.